Hey, welcome back. Lab-grown meat. I think it is almost equal parts miraculous and abominable. Why? I'll tell you next. So the FDA, or as Joel Salatin likes to say, the FDA, is not necessarily a trustworthy organization. I think we have seen in the past that they are not the bastions of science and truth that we would hope to have out of our government. Just recently approved lab-grown meat for human trial tests, whatever. All of that aside, I still think this is an abomination. Why do I mention the Christian part in the title? Scripture is the ultimate authority in my life. It is what I attempt to base the reasons that I live my life on. It's Holy Scripture. But even if you are not a Bible-thumping Christian such as myself, I still think some of these reasons will apply to you. Why is it miraculous? Well, the fact that we have figured out how to manipulate the cellular structure of something and produce what is ostensibly edible product is nothing short of phenomenal. The amount of time, skill, research, and money in a humanistic speaking point of view that went into that is very wow. It's way past my level of understanding. But that said, it's also cancer. Because cancer is unchecked cell reproduction. Now maybe they turn it off and turn it on. I don't really know the ins and outs of it. They claim it's perfectly healthy and they can shut off the replication. To me, eating something that is essentially a cancerous growth sounds less than healthy. Now we're not even going to get into the stuff that they could potentially be putting this in. In this article, it talks about how currently it's going to be made into basically chicken nuggets and ground beef. Because if they have to make steaks and chicken breasts out of it, it has to be grown on a scaffolding of some sort. I don't even need to go down conspiracy theory trails with what they could put in that, what the scaffolding will be made of, and what they say is good for us to eat that is most likely poison. Have you read the back of things that the FDA says is good for you? It's not good for you. Biblically speaking, why is this an abomination? Back in Genesis, God created all of the animals, us, the earth, the bit. Right? We were given dominion over the animals. You can look this up. The first animal that died in Scripture, God is the one who killed as the sacrifice to cover Adam and Eve's nakedness when they were sinners. Abel brings a sacrifice, and it is an animal. Man-eating animals has been around since almost the beginning of time. Now in the Old Testament, there were a few more dietary restrictions, right? No shellfish, no pigs. Basically feeder things that fed on other stuff or were filters were not allowed. In Acts, God gives Peter the right to eat just about anything. Stay with me, this is important. Not only, obviously, is lab-grown meat not in Scripture, so how do we point to a Scripture? Well, what is in Scripture is the hubris of man. When man tried to supplant the position of God, things go poorly. Tower of Babel, Nebuchadnezzar. When the Jews made laws that were not in the Old Testament and then tried to hold people to them. When man elevates himself past his station, things go sideways. So, God has given us perfectly natural ways to consume animals and meat. I don't think we are doing that correctly in our current day mass-produced feedlots of animals. The way we keep and treat animals is indicative of the way that we view the Lord, I think. Because if you respect the gift you are given, you are respecting the giver. To quote Joel Salatin again, you are respecting the pigness of the pig, the chickenness of the chicken. They have functions and designs that God gave them. One of them is to provide us with nourishment, and I think we should give them the best life we possibly can before harvesting them. It's one of the reasons why we started homesteading, was to treat the animals better, so that we knew what was in our food and it was better for us. But in reality, God says you can glorify Him whether you're sitting up, laying down, rising, right, eating, drinking, whatever you do it to the glory of God. So we are endeavoring to raise animals in a way that glorifies God. At the very end of Jonah, when Jonah is upset that Nineveh doesn't get destroyed, at the very last verse, it says, I think there was 185,000 people there and many animals. So God clearly cares about animals and the way we treat them, because He did not want to destroy Nineveh because of the people, but also even the animals were mentioned as something that matters to Him. So I think lab-grown meat, man is attempting to supplant God and make Himself the creator of life. Now, if they were using this technology to grow like a kid's ear back, you know what I'm saying? Or an organ that would save somebody's life, I think an argument could be made for that. In terms of not being able to eat meat that is raised naturally, because they are going to make it the only thing you can eat eventually, right? Because farming practices are bad for the environment. Look at what they're doing in the Netherlands with the farms that they're shutting down. Look at what they're doing in New Zealand with the farms that they're shutting down. Thousands of herds of cattle are being eliminated, right? They are coming for your food supply, and when they control your food supply, they control you. It's that simple. I think it comes down to control. So be careful, my friends, with what we put into our bodies. Our bodies are a temple, and we should take care of them. Not out of some vain triteness, but because it glorifies God. Thank you for joining me here today on Flannel Farms. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. Please share this video with your friends, ones you think might need to see it. Help me wake people up. I want to encourage you if you're a Christian and potentially wake you up to what's going on around you. Some of you, I know from your comments, are wide awake already. Keep growing as you grow. We'll see you next time. Bye.